Good morning, everybody. Joe Chacho here. Let's go down to basics when it comes to underwriting. Agents call me and they say, Joe this, Joe that there. And a lot of times what I've seen happen is that we want to make shortcuts when we're in a house. And sometimes we don't make shortcuts and things just pop up. Yesterday I was riding with an agent. We ran into a couple, wrote them each a policy, asked the husband, how's your health? He said, nothing's wrong with me. So you don't need medication? I take a blood pressure pill. That's all I take. I said, okay. So we kept on talking. So we went through the health questions, no to everything. He's a smoker. And I said, how long you smoke for? To have a little bit of small conversation with him. So I said, the only thing you take is just a blood pressure medication. You haven't been prescribed anything in the last 3 years, correct? He goes, nope, nothing at all. So I've been doing this for 23 years. I asked a simple, direct question. I got an answer. We get on the phone to do an actual point of sale interview. Declined. So I looked at him and I said, well, something has come up in your prescriptions or in your MIB where something has popped up that's not allowing you to get coverage. Oh, that's right. I'm on gabapentin. I had a back surgery about 1.5 years ago. I said, okay. That company there doesn't like gabapentin. I said, well, are you a diabetic, to try to see if you've got to tell you about being a diabetic. So I started looking. The carrier's got no problem with gabapentin as long as it's not in conjunction with diabetes. So we kept on talking. I said, you smoke. Do you take any type of inhalers or any medication for anything else that you may have forgotten about? Or medication that you've been prescribed, failed at one time and don't take it no more? Oh, yeah. Hold on, man. I take like a little puffer. Go over there, do that there. He takes a puffer. So now we're on the phone with the carrier, and he goes from immediate benefit to a greater benefit because I'm telling him there's something going on. The lady interviewer asked me I said she can hold on for me to talk to the client. So he accepted a graded program, yet he didn't tell me about the gabapentin. He didn't tell me about the puffer, the albuterol. So it doesn't really matter how long you've been in the business for. It's whether the person tells you the information. If a client calls you and asks you, Joe, I want to buy some insurance, and you go to their house and you're speaking with them, and you tell me, well, Joe, he looked good. He had nothing wrong with him, but he got declined. I've got no idea what went wrong. Well, you're going to ask me that question, tell me that statement there. I've got no idea what to tell you. The hardest part, the easiest part, is to ask the questions. The hardest part is to hope that they give you the answers that you're looking for. So what I've learned over the years, and I still do this over time, people still do not follow the course that I set out for them. Are there any medications you've been prescribed in the last 3 years? Whether you take it or don't take it anymore, the more you can tell me about you, the better program I can get you. They sometimes tell you, they sometimes don't. What we've got to understand is that when we're speaking with a client, a lot of times I think it's better to hand them an application as you're going through the questions so they can look at it. So hopefully when they see it, they want to tell you about it. If you call me up and you say, Joe, I've got a client had a stroke. Who can I put them with? My question to you, Mr. and Mrs. Agent, or to the client is, how long ago did you have your stroke? What medication are you on? Because if you tell me they had a stroke, you're telling me only they had a stroke. If it's been between 0 months and 12 months, it's called guaranteed issue. 1 year to 2 years, you got the Americo Eagle, or you got the Transamerica Standard Immediate. If it's over 2 years, you can go with anybody you want. So it's almost like a drill down that you have to have with the client. You're almost putting them like on the witness stand and interrogating them to have them tell you the truth. I actually want to go to a house sometimes, bring a Bible in and say, put your hand on there and tell me you're going to say the truth. But believe it or not, people sometimes forget. They sometimes have what I call as amnesia when it comes time for the application. And they just forget just to tell you what they're supposed to tell you. In the back office, we have a carrier placement guide that is going to give you the roadmap to find out what they qualify for. Yet what our job is to do is to find out when they had a heart attack, when they had a stroke, when they had a TIA. These are the most important things you need to find out, is when this stuff actually happened. So from there now you can kind of plug and play. To me, what we do is part of like putting a puzzle together. We've got all these different pieces that we're getting from the client. Now we need to put the puzzle together to find out what carrier best suits them. So what ends up happening with a lot of agents and myself, especially when you're a young agent, person tells you they're in great health, nothing's wrong with me, we automatically go with the lowest carrier we have, give them the best premium, start talking about the carrier, either do a point of sale interview, do something on your iPad, or submit an app, and you either get a decline or you get it to where they go from an immediate to a modified or a graded, because you listened to what they said, they're in great health. Years and years ago, I was out riding with an agent. I was out in Lakeland, Florida. I'm there talking with this gentleman and his daughter's with him. With him, and then she walks in a little bit later. I said, "Sir, how's your health?" He said, "Man, there's nothing wrong with me, man. I'm in great health. Perfect health, perfect health." So all I'm seeing is cha-ching, cha-ching. I'm going to make a sale. I'm going to be a big shot in front of this agent, show him what a great sales guy I am. Basically, this is a doggone lay down, but I'm kind of beating my chest like a gorilla saying I'm going to make a sale. I said, okay. I said, let me go to my car to get my book, get some more information, go over all the health information with you, kind of show you exactly what I've shared with you so you can see exactly how you got level benefits, the whole 9 yards. So I go to my car and I'm walking out. As I'm walking out of the house, I look to the right next to him and I see an oxygen machine there. So I'm saying, I hope it's not his. I'm praying it's not his. So I go to the car, come back inside, take another peek. It's still there. It is an oxygen machine, so I sit down. That's okay, and bring out some of the health questions. So I bring out the health questions. First question I asked him, even though it wasn't the first one on the application, I said, are you on any type of, any form of oxygen, whether you use it once in a while or hardly ever? Oh, yeah, I'm on oxygen, and I only use it as needed. Okay, so that perfect health went to an oxygen as needed, which is an automatic guaranteed issue. Doesn't matter whether they use it when they sleep, doesn't matter if they use it as needed, it doesn't matter whether they use it once in a while. Oxygen is oxygen. When an agent calls me or you go to a client's house and you look at them and they say, Joe, I'm in great health, there's nothing wrong with me, what we're doing is that we're listening and we're looking at the outside of the package. We got to figure out what's inside. We got to find out about all those internal organs of what's going on, because believe it or not, the insurance carriers know more about the clients than the clients know about themselves. They got the MIB and they got the RX. And when they have that information there, that information decides whether the client's going to get immediate, they're going to get modified, they're going to get graded, or they're going to get guaranteed issue. It's a very simple thing. Because if you sit on the phone and you start telling the interviewer, my client no longer takes that medication, they want to get immediate benefits, the interviewer is going to sit and say, okay, this is the answer that popped up on my screen. This is what I'm offering your client. This is all you can have. So you need to make sure that when you're speaking with a client, you know where to put them at. Said a minute ago, COPD and emphysema, you can go with America Ultra Protector 2. You go Liberty Bankers Standard Immediate, and you can go with Transamerica Immediate Standard. Everybody else is going to be graded. So by using that cheat sheet is going to allow you to go to the right carrier to give the client the best possible deal. With the client yesterday, his premium went from here to here and then to here. So what I had to do was that I had to lower his premium. So when you lower the premium, that equals lower the face. So I told him, I said, since you're on the albuterol, I'm going to have to keep you with this carrier here and let me do some checking around to get you something else. So I looked at Liberty Bankers, I looked at Transamerica, and their premium is higher. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to play it smart. I'm going to keep what he has in force. I'm going to go back to his house, explain to him how the program works, and tell him, you know something, there's probably a carrier out there that I can get you immediate benefits, yet you got to wait. I mean, it's get you immediate benefits, yet it's going to cost you more money. So you got to sit and say, do I say anything? Do I keep my mouth shut? How do I bring it up? Should I do it? Should I not do it? Well, you should do the right thing. You should at least offer it to the client, and then from there let him make the decision, with the hope and praying that he don't say cancel the whole damn thing. So those are things you got to kind of like play with the client's personality and what you had to do to accomplish the goal of writing the application last night. When you're visiting with people, I feel that they're going to be more open to you to tell you more about their health and their medication when they feel comfortable with you. So if you're going to go in like a drill sergeant, you're going to go right to the punchline and say, how's your health? Give me all your medication. Some people will sit and give it to you with no problem. Yeah, some people are going to be kind of a little apprehensive. Who in the hell are you asking me for my medication? I don't even know you. You just knocked on my door. So my suggestion is to take your time, do a little warm up, get them to know you, you get to know them, kind of tell them in advance, this is what we're going to be doing today. I'm a licensed insurance agent. Whatever we speak about is between you and I, cannot discuss with nobody. To go through the interview process to see what carrier you qualify for, and hopefully I can qualify you for somebody today. I'm going to ask you some personal questions. I'm going to ask you about your medication. If you answer yes to a question, I'm going to ask you some additional questions. And the reason I do that, I kind of want them to be aware of what is going to transpire. Because if you go in and say, how's your health? And they say, I had a heart attack. You start asking, well, how long ago was it? What medication are you on? Were you hospitalized? You start going into all this stuff here. Who's your doctor? Because I need it for the application. You could overwhelm them to where they're saying, man, this guy's a little too nosy, even though they know it's a process. Now, what you got to be careful about is that when you go to a house, if you're talking to a client who has had a stroke or had a heart attack, and they were denied before, they may sit and tell you nothing. They may say, well, I'm going to hold on this guy here. He doesn't know me. I'm going to see if I can just kind of bypass and not tell him I had a heart attack or a stroke and see what I can get away with. So you need to sit and tell them, have you applied for insurance before? Do you have any insurance before? Why don't you have insurance? Because what the carrier does is that they know all about you. If you applied for another company and you got denied or got turned down, they're going to have all that in your medical records. So the best thing for us to do is kind of be honest and sincere with each other. So from there, what I can do is put you with a company who will accept you. Because I know you don't want to go through a phone interview, whole 9 yards, and get the same results that you could have gotten. Now, hopefully that kind of gets their mind a little stimulated to where you kind of told them what could happen. They're going to say, well, let me just come clean. The client yesterday, first go around, he told me about gabapentin after. Second one, then he told me about the actual albuterol. So what happens is certain times people don't remember, they forget, they want the lowest premium, they want immediate benefits. When I go to a client's house and I'm visiting with them and they say, yeah, I want some information on some insurance, but I want to make sure I get immediate benefits. My mind kind of sits and wonders, why are they telling me they want immediate benefits? Were they declined before? Were they given something other than immediate before? Did a friend of them tell them about that there? Were they at somebody's house who wanted immediate and they couldn't qualify for it? So you need to sit and say, I'm going to do whatever I can to get you approved. This is why it's so important for you to tell me everything about you. And give an example. Say, listen, I've got some carriers that with COPD and emphysema, you're going to get a graded, yet I've got other carriers where you're going to get immediate benefits. I've got some carriers, if you had a heart attack a year ago, you're going to get a graded. I've got other carriers where you can get immediate benefits. So you almost want to let them know that if something did go wrong with them, you got carriers that will not accept them, or they'll be graded or a guaranteed issue, or you've got carriers that are available for them that are less time period. You're trying to get them to open up to you because the process is this here. If you rush through it and you give them a $10,000 policy for $50 a month, and all of a sudden it comes back other than requested, now you got to show them a higher premium, and they don't want to pay that $62.50. They want to pay that $50. So if they don't know about the 50, now they sit and say, okay, I got no problem with this $62.50 because this is the best available. The people are going to buy from you. They sometimes like carriers. They like carriers such as Transamerica, Mutual Omaha, Gerber, AIG, because those are well-known companies. Yet, most of the time, they're going to buy based on the connection you have with them. How you word what you say, how you come across, how your eye contact is, your voice inflection, how you are extracting information from them in a polite way. When you draw a picture for them explaining this is the reason why it is best for me to give this information for you, because then I'll be able to get you a better program at a less expensive price because I know you're on a budget. If they can save money, they can get immediate benefits, and you can hopefully get them, to tell you the truth. What it's going to do is make your actual transition, the closing process, the interview process, or the application process on an iPad a lot smoother, okay? We called up the carrier yesterday, and what happened is that the process went kind of short because they stopped right in the beginning and said, hey, we have something pop up on the RX, we're not going to be able to offer you anything. I like that there. That was with Marico. Sorry, got this here. Because Marico does not like albuterol because they consider that part of the COPD division, and the Eagle doesn't like it. Now, when you have a carrier such as you go with Americo, you go with Royal Neighbors, if you apply with a certain product of theirs and they're declined, you can't put them with another one. So when you strike out with a certain carrier, you got to go to a different carrier. Something else that just crossed my mind now. If you go to a client's house and they have an Americo or Royal Neighbors, whatever carrier they have, most carriers we deal with in the simplified issue division have got a maximum amount of life insurance that they can offer the client. So for example, with Royal Neighbors, it's $25,000. So if Larry was there 6 months ago or 2 years ago and offered that client, the client purchased a $20,000 policy from Larry, the most that client can have is $5,000 more, because Royal Neighbors says the maximum amount we will offer any client is $25,000 on the immediate and $10,000 on their graded program. So that's why it's smart to find out who they've had, what they have. Please give me the policy, let me look at it. So if you run across that situation and they want $10,000, you can put them with a different carrier and not have no problem. Because what will happen is that you go through the entire interview process, you'll do everything properly, walk out, be very happy, then you're going to get an email or a phone call a couple, 3 days later saying, I'm sorry, most he can have is 25, you wrote him 10, he can't have that full 10. Now you got to go back to the client to tell them what happened and put them somewhere else. So those are just some of the little small things. On the back end, the back office, we have all of the carrier cheat sheets that you're possibly going to need. The most important thing is just to read the application. The application says that if you have a heart attack in the last 2 years, okay, don't call your manager and say, listen, he had a heart attack 25 months ago, can he still qualify? The question said 2 years, 24 months. So think about that there. 2 years, 24 months. They had it 25 months ago, 30 months ago. The answer is still no. The only tricky question is when it comes to cancer. When they ask you if the client had any cancer within the last 2, 3, 4 years, the answer is when. What they're really asking you is when was their last treatment. It's not when they were diagnosed. It is when was their last treatment for cancer. So if they had cancer 18 months ago, guaranteed issue. If they had cancer 2 years ago, you need to ask them a question 2 years ago, okay? When was your last treatment? What did you have? Did you have radiation? Did you have chemo? Did you have a seed implant? Did you have your prostate removed? Did you have breast cancer? What did you have? If they sit and say their cancer was 2 years ago, yet their treatment was 22 months ago, They still fall into the same category. It's got to be 24 months or more with some carriers, 36 months, 3 years, or 4 years. So they got to make sure that the last treatment they had was over the question that they're asking you, 2, 3, or 4 years. If you have a client that's got sleep apnea, go with anybody, because that's just air being blown through your CPAP. If you have a client who has a CPAP machine in conjunction with oxygen, the only carrier that I can think of right now that will accept it with immediate benefits is Foresters. Okay? If they use oxygen for anything else, part-time, half-time, only when they go to the mall, only when they go up high sea levels, it's going to be a guaranteed issue. So guaranteed issue right off the bat is going to be oxygen, somebody who has AIDS, HIV, somebody that's paralyzed, somebody that's confined to a wheelchair, kidney dialysis. Those there are all going to be guaranteed issue. It doesn't matter whether they're in great health or they speak well. Joe, they look fantastic. There's nothing wrong with them. In our eyes, they're fine. Yet when it comes to insurance, they've got the information board they go by. And what they do not vary from that there, because then they're going to give it to one person, not the other person. So it's very, very straight focused. You got Americo, which you have a client that had a heart attack, a stroke, something happens to them with the heart, a pacemaker. They don't want defibrillators, but a pacemaker. If they had that done a little bit over 12 months ago, you get them the Americo Eagle. You can also get them the Transamerica Immediate Standard, provided they only answer one yes to that section 4. If they answer yes to 2 questions with the Transamerica in that section 4, they're going to go to a graded, which is a 2-year return of premium. So you need to ask all the questions and then figure out which one. If you got somebody that's got COPD, emphysema, hepatitis, any main stuff, the carriers I'm going to have you guys look at is Liberty Bankers or Capital Life. They got an immediate standard program. You can have a lot of issues with the client and they're still going to get immediate benefits. So the beauty about it is somebody's got hepatitis with medication, you put them right now with Liberty Bankers, immediate standard, you're going to get your client immediate benefits. So what you got to do is look through the cheat sheet to tell you what carrier you can put your client with. Is very straightforward. Read the application. Do not look into the application. They're very simple. Have they had a heart attack in 2 years? Are they currently being treated for hepatitis? That's not considered a maintenance drug when it comes to hepatitis, when it comes to carriers. The only one that will accept it, off the top of my head right now, is Liberty Bankers Capital Life Immediate Standard. Okay, so if you're unsure, call me, call your manager. But the best thing a lot of times you can do is call the carriers. Now, Foresters does not have a final expense division for underwriting. Americo does not have a underwriting division for final expense. Almost all the other carriers do. Americo says write the application on your iPad, and if you get an accept or deny, that's what they want you to do. They'd rather you do that there, it's going to cost them a couple dollars, instead of having you wait on the phone with somebody waiting to get an exact answer. Because the thing about it is that when you call the carrier and say, listen, I've got a client that's in great health, and they're on this medication, or they had a heart attack this period of time ago, the information that you give that underwriter, the underwriter is going to answer your question only based on what you told him. If the client didn't tell you everything, you're going to get a decline. Then you're going to get upset with the carrier saying, oh, come on, Joe, I called up the carrier. They told me the guys didn't get approved, but he got denied. All that underwriter knows is what you tell them. So, go to the America website, go to the Eagle, bam, bam, bam. You get approved, it's done. If you get denied, it's denied. That's the way they want to do things. Kind of cut and dry, to be honest with you. It's kind of nice. Okay, that's it. Appreciate your hard work. You got any questions, give us a call. Make it a great weekend. Appreciate the people being on the call. I'm looking at the list now. 58 people on the call, so I'm very happy. Everybody make it a great day. Hit them hard. Need leads, you need help, you need advice, you need new carriers. Give us a call. We're here for you all the time. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.